You can't call it that.
Call it what?
You know what you just said. You can't say you're gonna wet your mouth, bussy.
I was thirsty. I was gonna wet my mouth, bussy.
No! Don't call it that.
Why not? I call all kinds of goofy stuff like that.
Why mouth bussy though?
I don't know. It just kind of stuck in my head. There was that other
Why not just mouth bussy or mussy?
Mussy, because mussy sounds too much like mussy, which is like a slang term back home on the res. So.
Slang term for what?
Oh, something's mussy, like it's cool, like it's that's pretty mussy.
Okay. There are plenty of things that end with the suffix ussy that are pretty cool, actually.
There was a band that I really liked. I can't remember who it was, but I was just super fucking excited about it. So I was trying to tell them how much I liked it. I was like, yeah, that shit just really rocked my ear bussies. And they fucking cracked up. They just like, who the fuck says that?
When was this?
That was like months ago. I can't even remember what band it was.
Oh, ear bussy.
I know.
Why not ear-ussy?
Just like I said, I'm not trying to do the, just add the suffix ussy. I'm just trying to say that my ear has a butthole that...
Okay, you got your ear butthole rocked by the music.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I gotta wet my mouth butthole with this.
God damn it, stop doing that every time you take a drink. See, I shouldn't have said anything, because now you're gonna say that every time you pick up your
I do it with all kinds of weird shit, though, like fucking...
I've never heard you do that before.
You never heard me say, I'm gonna put the keys in the ignicy?
No! What?
You gotta fill up the fucking gas can. What do you call the little gas pump then? I guess I better put the gas pump in the fucking gas tankussy or whatever. There was like a good couple of weeks where it was in my brain and I couldn't stop myself. Fucking put.
Where was I? How did I miss this?
You were around. You just ignored me.
Yeah,
you go to
that's probably
7-Eleven
true.
and I had my card. I better put that in the card reader ussy. Just.
The Carducci.
The Carducci.
The Carducian.
It was really bad. It was just a compulsion, and I'm glad that it's over because I don't want to have to be doing tech support on the phone. And be like, don't forget to do Control-Shift-Delete Tussie. Don't forget to clear your cookies and your cache ussy. That could
You're gonna have to use another browsussy.
Oh God. No, don't forget to enter your fucking email address and your passwussy.
Oh shit!
I can't do that at work. It's terrible. Or I'm like talking.
Are you on a Mac-ussy or a Windows-ussy? Windowsy?
Windowsy. So you have the mouse or the track that doesn't work. The trackpad-ussy?
Trackpad-ussy?
Or just
Track pussy?
Track pussy. It just doesn't work. Some words you have to have the vowel to kind of make it. It's like English rendaku with ussy.
Okay.
Because, in Japanese, how you have, you have sumo, but it's ozumo, so that's rendaku. And, you have a heya, but, you put something, so you have a heya, but then you have, Musashi Gawa Beya,
Yeah,
so
in certain contexts, the letter changes.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
so that's that's rendaku. So I guess with ussy, in English, you have to have a sort of rendaku to try and make it flow, so you can't just say pa-ussy, you have to say pad-ussy.
Okay.
So that would be the grammatical rules of ussy with English rendaku.
Maybe you should go...
I shouldn't have studied linguistics in college. Fuck, man, I'm ruined.
Go get a job writing for the Dictionussy or some shit. We gotta start this goddamn episode.
Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx.
Hello, this is Sabrissi.
And my name is Matussy.
And this is Sumo Pussy. Wait, Wait, what did you say?
Punxsutawney.
Is that what we were supposed to say?
Whatever. It still works.
Sumo pussy.
See how she is?
You think KellyAnn's gonna kill us for that? Or
Well, she'll
Brenda?
kill you. I
Okay.
said Punxsutawney, so meh.
So, as you might have guessed, we had a guest on this episode. The bronze medalist of both the heavyweight competition and teams competition at the recent World Sumo Championships, KellyAnn Ball, who will also be on her way very soon to Saudi Arabia to participate in the World Combat Games. Before we get into that interview, though, let's go ahead and run through the upcoming events.
Upcoming events, October 21st through 23rd, the World Combat Games in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. October 28th, the British Sumo Union Official Championships in Armthorpe, Doncaster. More info is on Instagram and Facebook. Just look up the British Sumo Union. November 3rd and 4th, Sumo Dance Olympia Sumo Championships. Happening at the Mr. Olympia Fitness Expo in Orlando, Florida. Weigh-ins on November 1st and 2nd. The tournament itself is the 3rd and 4th, 10 a.m. through 4 p.m. local time. November 18th, the Midwest Sumo Open, hosted by Ohio Sumo. Saturday, November 18th, noon to 4 local time, 930 West 7th Street in Bloomington, Indiana. Competitor sign-up is at indiana.ohio.sumo@gmail.com. And again, Ohio is spelled like
OHAYO.
December 16th through 17th, the Texas Classic Sumo Tournament, hosted by Shogeki Sumo, and live stream and commentary by the illustrious.
Yeah.
And February 17th, the Mighty Eagle Teams Tournament. We'll have more info as that rolls out. And April 6th, the inaugural Sakura Cup
Oh, we're
Sumo
getting
Tournament.
way off into the future.
Yeah, it's outdoor. Music City Muscle Gym in Nashville, Tennessee. Again, more info will be rolled out. And as always, all of these tournaments, all of this info can be found at sumo411.com.
And who runs that wonderful website?
Who we interviewed today?
KellyAnn
KellyAnn Ball.
Ball.
History maker. Seriously, her and her teammates, Eton Perez, who is also my teammate, Madison Gwynn, who we actually got to see her first sumo tournament in the flesh in Houston at the Houston Sumo Open. And there was Christina Griffin-Jones, and these women have made history by being the first adult women to medal at a World Sumo Championship. The first American women to medal at a World Sumo Championship.
I'm so proud of them.
That's so fucking cool, and we know them. We've met them.
Well, we're going to be talking to the other women hopefully sometime soon, but until then, here's our interview with KellyAnn Ball.
All right. We are Sumo Punx. It is me, Matt, and this is Sabrina, and we are here with KellyAnn Ball.
Woo! KellyAnn Ball, the bronze medalist from the World Sumo Championships in both heavyweight and the teams portion.
You are the first American woman to medal in regulation and to medal in the teams competition. So y'all are the first American women to ever medal at a World Sumo Championships.
Yeah, so we're the first senior women, because we did have a junior do it several years back.
Okay.
Nice. See, I'm glad that I asked for confirmation, because I didn't know about the junior medalist from back in the day. That's pretty cool.
I will say there was only 3 women in that, or 3 juniors in that division, and so she was one of the ones that medaled.
Oh, well, that makes
but
sense.
But I mean, like, she still medaled, but...
Yeah. Well, congratulations to her anyway. But before we get much further, KellyAnn, how are you doing on this fine day? You are currently in Japan. Are you still in Osaka?
Yes, we're still in Osaka. We're having a great time out here, minus my allergies.
I heard about that. Yeah, it was every time you went near, was it one of the castles? You would just start sneezing.
Osaka Castle is surrounded by woods, and I die every time we get close.
So how is the castle in real life? Like, is it majestic?
It's super majestic, especially at night, because it's just this giant white building in the darkness, and it's all lit up really pretty. The inside is kind of like a museum, but they've modernized it a lot. So kind of like unfortunate that they didn't keep some of like the history of the building, or the architecture at least. But there's a lot of interesting information as you go down the stairs.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of the outside of it. I think somebody online had described it as if buildings had ghosts. It's just so, like, bright white. It, like, glows in the dark.
So, is this your first time being in Japan, or have you been to Japan before?
No, this is our first time in Japan.
Oh,
So,
wow.
So whenever you first got into Tokyo, you know, the biggest, hugest ass city, actually one of the biggest ass cities in the whole world.
Yeah.
What was your impression, like, being on the street?
it reminded me a lot of New York, because we've been to New York City before, and just being like in the middle of like Times Square kind of area, where like all the billboards are lit up, and there's just people constantly churning by you. Except on a slightly smaller scale, because all the streets are way smaller in Japan. But it was a lot of fun. You know, Japan's been really exciting. Trains were really hard the first day, though.
Oh, really? What was that like?
Yeah. It was a hot mess trying to navigate the trains with our luggage, because we had like 5 bags with us as we were trying to get onto the train during rush hour. So we were trying to we missed one train because we couldn't both fit with our luggage, so we had to wait for the next.
Wow.
You get squished in your sardines.
And I hear there's some strict rules for traveling on the trains as well. Like, you're not supposed to talk on the phone, and basically be as polite and quiet as possible.
Yeah, they do make several announcements while you're on the train. Like, you'll hear them like, "Oh, please refrain from talking on your cell phone." But I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. It was just kind of like, don't be obnoxious.
Exactly.
Was like the expectation.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, sometimes I wish that they would have rules like that on the Dart where we live. So. Especially don't pee on the train. That's the one that I would really wish they had.
Don't pee on the train while it's moving.
Just don't pee on the train in general. Because there's no bathrooms on that train. That's why I say don't pee on the train. But they do it anyway.
So, one of the things that I've always heard about Japan is the unwritten rules or unspoken rules, kind of. Did it feel kind of scary, kind of navigating, those social expectations?
I wouldn't say so. I felt like we kind of knew what we were getting into going into Japan. Like, we had done some research and knew what the customs were. And I think we really went in trying to be good gaijin. Be good foreigners, make sure we cleaned up after ourselves, and just we're trying to be respectful to everybody else.
That's the way to do it, really. Yeah. Do your research beforehand. Don't just go in there expecting everybody to, bend to your proclivities, Yeah,
one of the more disturbing things that I, heard was there was, a guy, I think he might have been from Germany, but, outside of the shrines, how they have those water bowls, to purify yourself. Mm-hmm. He was, washing his feet, and, in a lot of different Asian cultures, feet are considered to be, way dirtier than they are in, a lot of, Western cultures,
Yeah.
And so to do that was just it's just dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge no-no.
I see Brenda in the background. What's up, Brenda? Are you guys married officially?
Are we married? Is that what you're sorry?
Yeah.
I get cut off a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, are you guys?
We are, but we've been engaged forever and ever.
Oh.
We've been together for over 11 years.
And it has a lot to do with the fact that neither one of us like parties and we don't like planning. And so it's just kind of we're putting it off. But we might as well be.
Same.
So I can introduce you as, this is Brenda, KellyAnn's long-term fiance. Ooh, that is a nice ring. Dang, girl. Lucky. All right, I really have to ask you guys. You better get me a bigger one. No, but I wanted to ask you guys, I know that the cuisine in Japan is like world famous. What is the best food you've eaten in Japan so far?
Probably last night.
We had really good yakitori last night.
Yeah, last night Kelly found a reel for a yakitori place, and the neri skewers, the ones that are like I think chicken thigh
With onions.
with green onions, were 30 yen, which is like I don't know 5 cents.
30
It's
yen?
super cheap. 33 yen.
And it was it's I don't know probably like 6 train stops from here, so we were like hell yeah, let's go.
Wow.
And we get there, and they had a little bit of a hard time because it was probably the first place that we've been to where they didn't understand a whole lot of English, so I had to bust out my phone and do the Google Translate.
Yeah.
This is the only time we've had to use Google Translate, like, where they had to talk into the phone and Google would translate it for us because we had no idea what they were trying to say to us.
Oh,
We were like, I don't know what you're asking me.
Yeah, and so like they were trying to ask us if we had a reservation because a lot of these places are like reservation first.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah. But we got lucky that there was a lot of tables open. So, like, the girl went to the kitchen and asked them, and they were like, oh, yeah, that's cool. It's just, the skewers are going to take a little while. And we were like, oh, that's fine. We're just here to have a good time, whatever.
We probably ate like 40 skewers.
Yeah, we probably had like 40 skewers total. Like, oh, my God, every single thing that we ate there was so good.
I tried mapo tofu for the first time. Delicious.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I love mapo tofu.
Oh, that just instantly made my tummy growl.
Do you remember what the place was called?
Yakitori no Sakura Shinfukai.
Yeah.
Yakitori.
It's a really...
It's off of the Shinfukai
train station
in Osaka.
Okay, so if anybody wants to get on Google Maps and find that train station, it's the yakitori place near there. Gotcha.
It's on McDonald's.
That's right next to McDonald's.
It's right next to the McDonald's.
Nice. So you can get your yakitori and then go next door and get some fries.
Oh, I did.
If you're feeling extra
drink?
American. Did you guys have to do a lot of like Google Translate communicating like all over the place? Like just kind of like have to say something and then just like kind of point it at someone and have them kind of communicate back?
Yeah, well, you know what? For the most part, a lot of the places are prepared, and so they have things.
They just point.
Yeah, you can just point and be like, yeah, this one on the gaisha. They're like, oh, okay, cool. They'll like help you out.
Nice.
So they're used to just pointing.
Yeah.
Like they see your face and they know that you're going to speak English or another language, and so they'll pick the guy that knows more languages and they'll send them to you.
Yeah, we did go to one restaurant where they like switched out waiters because they were like, this guy doesn't understand enough English
Aw.
to get. But
Oh man, that's funny. Like my mom actually got into like a relationship with some guy, like 'cause she has no Spanish whatsoever, and this guy is from Guatemala, and all he spoke is Spanish. So she's sitting there speaking English into her phone, trying to romance this guy. And she was all drunk at the Tom Thumb, it's the grocery store, and then she saw him, and then she just started talking, and then she just decided to make out with him, and so their whole relationship that they had, it was about maybe a week, 2 weeks tops. They had to communicate with the phone, and that's how they did everything.
lust and love needs no language, right?
I could totally imagine your mom doing that too. I totally believe that actually happened in real life.
It was hilarious.
Okay, enough about weird romance and Japan in general. Let's talk about the sumo.
Oh, yeah, that's why we're here, huh?
Yes, exactly. So my first question, and this is a very important one. World Games dohyo versus World Championships dohyo. Which one was better?
World Championship, though, yeah. 100%.
I figured. Yeah.
So what was like the main difference, kind of like for like the terrain? Like, did you feel like it was too slippery at the World Games compared to World Championships?
So World Games was underprepared by the sense that the dohyo they made was like made 2 days before. And if you know anything about sumo, they usually make their dohyos like a week before.
Yeah.
And that's to let the clay dry out. So because the World Games, the dohyo didn't have time to dry, it was really tacky. And then they overcompensated with sand. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of sand. And like if you have seen clips, you'll see a clip of Andrew Roden just slipping and like taking a giant pile of sand with his foot as he falls on his back.
do
You know what I
remember
mean?
seeing that. Yeah.
In the World Games doyo. World Sumo Championships, I'm assuming that doyo was made at least a week in advance. And they actually used it right after us for another competition. So they put a lot of love and care into it to use it for multiple days.
Another important question. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know much about this per se because Kelly didn't get to train with Takasago Beya, but by what the boys say is like each one is different because we also went to Waseda University and Joe went to a park where there was a dojo and each one of those were different. So as an athlete, you probably have to adapt to.
I mean, each dojo is going to be different, but I would still say that the World Championship dojo is better than the World Combat Games or World Games one. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense because, you know, each one is built from scratch. And you've actually given a better explanation of it than I think anybody that we've ever talked to about it.
Yeah,
So,
seriously. 'Cause
yeah.
we've kind of been wondering, you know, like what the difference was. What did it feel like? And it's kind of like the blind leading the blind kind of a thing because we've never actually been on a clay dojo, so we really have no frame of reference, you know. But it's just like, you know, seeing the videos, you know, of everyone from the World Games compared to the World Sumo Championships, it seems like everyone was a lot more comfortable on the dojo, you know, at the World Sumo Championships. It didn't seem so out of whack, I guess.
I mean, this time around, the U.S. team had a lot of opportunities to practice on clay dojos. So, like, we set up a practice opportunity with Waseda University's team. We rented out a private dojo for one day.
Oh, wow.
And then we had 2 practices at Takasago for the boys. So we had a lot of time to kind of acclimate ourselves with the dirt. And, like, obviously, like, there is differences between all the dojos, but I think it helped just having that practice time beforehand.
Now, you said that Takasago practice was just for the boys. They wouldn't let the women in?
Well, I mean, the women were allowed to watch, but you're not allowed on the dojo because it's a pro stable and they have rules against women in dojos.
But you still got to train with the university, and you said you rented a private dojo? I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, because we... with Takeshi, who's a good friend of ours, he has a place that he rents for different things he does, and so we were able to rent it with him.
Ooh, cool. That's awesome.
Is that the one that has like not the actual bales on the outside, but it's some kind of like weird like artificial, more permanent kind of Tawara on it? Or the one that because go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I didn't go to that practice because we had something else planned.
We went to Jungyo.
Yeah, we went to Jungyo instead. So I don't remember what kind of bales they used. They might have used like the rubberized ones. That's what Waseda used, which are more
slick.
Well, no, they're not more slick, but they last longer.
Got you. Yeah, because
they're a rubber tube.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw. What was his name? It's one of the Bens that was from Ohio Sumo.
Oh, Ben Lacey.
Lacey, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Because he went and trained with Takeshi, I guess earlier in this year, and I kept trying to ask, it's like, oh, what's that Tawara made out of? Because I'm trying to build a dojo in my backyard, and, you know, I can't use bales, and I saw someone else use sandbags. I was like, oh, but what's Takeshi using? I want to use that.
Okay, another very important question, though. For the dojo at the World Championships, how tempted were you to do a backflip?
0 tempted, because I can't do it. It would just fall on my face. Also, I don't think I realized that I had medaled when I did. I was like, after that match, and I saw like Khan and Ivana go, I was sitting there and I was like, fuck, I just medaled. And I was like crying on the sideline.
Oh.
Like, until afterwards. And I'm just like sitting there waiting to like be let go of that area. And I'm just like quietly crying while I watch them go.
I didn't know either. Until Joe was, you know that Kelly just got bronze? And then I was like, what? And then I just started, like, I cried for like a ugly cry. Like, I had like boogers on like Gilberto's belly. He was holding me up. It was just insane. I was just like, you know.
Oh, that's adorable.
Slowly.
No, whenever that happened, like Sabrina and I were looking at her, like, did she medal? Did she medal?
It was kind of hard to tell, like, that whoever was running the live stream, they missed the mark on a few things, let's say.
Yeah, like on the graphics, like the info telling you who
especially
was...
that, yeah. So, we didn't really know for sure until after that last bout either.
Until they announced it after the last regulation bout.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, and bronze, KellyAnn Ball. And I was like,
fuck yes! KellyAnn!
It was like, it was Katrina Watts had announced it, and we were like, oh my god!
Oh, speaking of Katrina Watts.
Yeah, we saw your picture.
What was it like to meet Katrina Watts?
So, I met her in Alabama. There with us.
Okay, so
but she's such a sweet person. And she was actually there for weigh-in, so I got to catch up with her a little bit then. And then competition day, at one point I won a match, and I looked over at her, and she like winked at me, of like, and it felt like, I got like approval, right? Like I was like, but she's such a sweet person, and you can tell she genuinely cares about the sport of sumo, and that's why she continues to be a part of it. I mean, she's been in it longer than majority of us have. Even knew sumo was a sport to do, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. And, like, after the World Games, people were being, like, kind of shitty about her because of the whole fucking backflip thing.
Yeah,
and
get off the dojo!
And I was just like, you guys don't even know who this woman is. She's, like, a legend,
Yeah!
Yeah, totally. I feel like it's kind of a meme at this point. The get off the dojo.
Oh, yeah!
Makes me laugh.
It totally is.
It's funny. I'm going to get a tattoo of the backflip. Besides Katrina Watts, you also met a shit ton of pro rikishi. What was that
everywhere.
like?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
So jealous!
I remember I turned around at one moment, and it was like Ishii was like 2 feet from me, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, he wasn't a yukata or anything, so it wasn't obvious, but I like turned, and it was like, that's his face.
I remember seeing the picture. He was just in like a button-up shirt and pants, just looked like a regular dude.
Yeah, just waiting for his official retirement haircutting ceremony, I guess.
I feel like if he didn't still have a chonmage, I wouldn't have been able to tell that it was him, to be honest.
No.
Yeah.
I saw his face, and I immediately was like, that's Ishii. And I was just like, but I didn't know what to do. I just told other people, I was like, Ishii's here. And I was like...
that would have caught me off guard. Like, in my brain, I'm like, oh man, I would have been so cool, and like, oh hi, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. No,
but you would have been there like...
Exactly. That's exactly what I would have been doing. I would have been like, oh, that's exactly what would have happened. And, cause
I mean, the majority of the wrestlers are really, really nice and like willing to take photos and sign stuff. So that was really cool. There was a couple wrestlers who were just kind of like trying to stay in the down low. So we sent Ben because it's hard to say no to children.
Yeah.
So sent little Ben. And we're like, can you go get the signed? And he was like, okay. And then mission.
And
it was really good.
Ben has like no
Ben, like,
fear.
that kind of stuff.
That's a bit.
Ben will just go up to anybody. I've seen it like firsthand. But I saw the pictures that he had with like Shishi and I think, did you guys meet Hakuho? Because I know a few people did.
Oh, I did. Is that picture of Ben with Hakuho? Like, I took that picture.
You took that picture?
Let's go.
Yeah. I didn't get it. There was like a line to meet him, and I was like, I don't know. I felt weird about it, and I was just like, I'm just happy to be in the same room where I can see his face from like 20 feet away or whatever,
Yeah.
So I didn't try to bother him, but I know some of the other guys did.
Yeah. Like,
and got signatures and pictures.
Yeah.
I remember seeing people go running to go meet Hakuho.
Yeah.
Like sprinting.
Oh,
I was like,
I would have.
Kaisei was there, right?
Kaisei was there.
And then a lot of Jurio guys were there because like they're pretty fresh from the amateur scene, so they know a lot of the guys competing.
Oshama?
Yeah.
Oshama was there. Ono Sato was there.
Ono Sato was cool because he remembered Kelly.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, World Games, and we were like, yeah.
Yeah. I was like really surprised. I was like, I barely talked to you in Alabama, but he remembered me, and then we gave him a Honu sticker, and he was like, oh, this is really cool.
Oh.
I saw when you guys went to Junyo that you got to meet some more Rikishi. Did you guys talk to Chiyomaru? Because I thought I remembered a Chiyomaru picture.
Yeah, Brenna hung out with Chiyomaru for a minute.
Oh, that's
Nice.
Yeah.
It's hard though, because after a while there were so many people down there, and they got attacked by the old ladies. Dude, the old lady were like pushing me.
Jungyo's crazy. It's like Black Friday. They like attack.
Legit, for real.
I felt like I was like at a rock show and I was at the front getting like squished against the guards, against the rails. I was like what is happening?
Mosh pit of old lady trying to get.
I'm telling you, when your boy Tommy Fuji came out, I was like, I was literally pushed and shoved to get so they could get closer to him, and I was like, I'm just standing here trying to take a picture of him, and they're just like shoving at me.
Just
I'm like, oh my god.
Just little old ladies just going gaga for frickin' Tommy Fuji, just trying to mosh their way to him or something.
And they set up Jungyo in a way where that's like
allowed.
Yeah. And so he was behind a barrier, but he had to leave the barrier area to go to the press area. And the press area was like in the middle of everybody. Like you could just go out and like touch him and run, like go hug him if you really wanted to, but I'm sure that's probably frowned upon. But
yeah,
like you had to come out to like the crowd, and I was like, this is
madness.
Crazy. This would never happen in America. Like no one like would set up an event like that.
Well, Taka Keisho, because he was like, oh, like, okay, I'm focused. He had like 3 guys around him.
Yeah.
That were just kind of blocking everyone else.
But then Tommy Fuji's little. Like he doesn't have the.
He's not little, okay?
He's
not Hokuseiho, but he's not.
But he's not an Ozeki, so he doesn't have like the people to be like.
Oh, he doesn't
protect
have the
me.
entourage.
Yeah, he's like lower rank, yeah. No, that makes sense. Whereas Taka Keisho walks up in there like the fucking mob boss with his goons or whatever.
Yeah, he's got his goons and he's got his little like eyebrows.
Yeah.
He's like Taka Keisho.
Oh, what's...
He's talking with his dudes.
Oh, that's
His
cool.
dudes?
Oh,
So he's
those are
like
his
on
dudes?
like a guard,
Railing.
like a railing, and then he's got 3 people around him.
And all the ladies in the back are like, oh my god, Taka Keisho.
So people could come up to the front of him and take a selfie with him. Like he was willing to do that, but he didn't want to be.
Oh, like
I
buddy.
get it. That's a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
But when he was done after the Butskari, he walked out and he then walked back to high five a little kid and then he left. So he was looking at little kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the Rikishi try to make it a good time for the small ones, you know.
Kelly, you had mentioned Konhyori earlier. What was it like to go up against your rival, Little Miss Sumo herself, one more time?
Well, it was a little terrifying. We had talked a bunch prior to our match, just because, like, we kept running into each other. She's such a sweetheart. She's such a nice person. And she's filming something right now, so
Ooh.
a lot of her films, I don't know if they'll end up in whatever production that's being made for her. But she's just such a genuinely sweet person, and I think she's an inspiration for most women in sumo. And so I was so nervous going against her, because like she's one of the top heavyweight women in the world. And I knew that I had a chance to beat her, but if I didn't beat her, then I could repercharge up. So like either way, I was in a win-win situation. And I went out and I tried my best, but she just has a much faster lower tachi than me. And Brenda will always tell you my first match is always my worst match, because it takes a while to shake off the nerves.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of got blasted, and she's got a hard head, dude. She hit me pretty hard in that area. And I was like sitting there, I was like, just waiting for my next match, and I was like, man, my face hurts.
So you bonked coconuts with her. She got you in the face. Oh wow, I see that in the light. In the light, I can see it's like still swollen.
Right here.
Yeah.
And then here too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like right here, it's a little puffy still.
Yeah.
Aww.
Oh, that is gnarly.
And then she to Ivana, because at one point we looked at Ivana and she had like a big red mark here.
Oh, so that's her
spot.
MO.
Like,
that's Konhyori's MO. So,
I know a lot of those littler girls were like all trying to hinka you, but I mean, it didn't seem to do much.
yeah, who was it that?
Yeah.
Was it?
And I got lucky.
Chinese Taipei, and was it Thailand that hinked you too?
I went against Mongolia, Chinese Taipei,
Thailand.
and Thailand.
Oh, and for teams?
Yeah, those were the 3 small, like, I had really small girls, and I was like, man, I am massive compared to these. And a couple of them did try to sidestep me, but, like, if you've ever trained with Andrew Freund, he's kind of a squirrel, and he'll make me run around in a circle chasing him in the ring. So I'm very used to people doing that. So it wasn't an issue. I knew that was going to happen. With small people, they tend to run away. That's just...
Yeah.
I have the same thing with Corey. You know,
Yeah.
like when I fight, he never does a head-on tachi with me. He always jumps at weird angles, and I have to catch him. You know?
Yeah.
It makes no sense for them to go straight ahead, so...
So what would you say was your toughest bout out of all of them? Oh, there's the medal! I see it! Both the medals! Dang!
Oh.
I bet they're heavy.
Heavy metal.
They are heavy. They're really heavy. And then on the back, it's like what they're for.
Oh,
Nice. You know, you got two of them. You could probably wear them as earrings.
Do it. Do it.
Nice.
No.
That's so cool.
My toughest battle, probably against Con. I feel like that was my hardest. And obviously I didn't win that one. And then I was really upset with how I did against the Ukrainian girl on the Ukrainian team. Because I felt like I came really close and I should have been able to beat her. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting tossed. So that was a little disappointing.
Yeah, I remember watching that one, and it did look like you got really close.
Yeah, the Ukrainians just kind of came in and swept everything, though, you know. I mean, even like at the World Games, I was just kind of blown away with how they did everything. And going into the World Sumo Championships, I was just like, yeah,
they're probably going to be pretty good there, too. You even got kind of thrashed off the dojo at one point. What was that like?
Oh, no, you thrashed the Estonian girl off the
Well, you both got, you both ended up taking a tumble.
I think this is the first time I've really fallen off of a, off of a platform dojo. Because I've been on platform dojos, but I've never, really fell hard. And I forgot that, it was slanted, and I was, in my mind when I was falling, I was like, oh, her body will stop me. No. I just kept going. And, you can't tell. I don't think you can tell from the film, but I fall above her. Her body's here, and then I go past her.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I could see it.
Shout out to Kai.
Yeah. Shout out to Kai, the Estonia girl.
Aww.
But I ended up hurting my rib a little bit, and I remember just sitting there for a minute, because I was like, ow, and then I kind of knocked the wind out of myself, and I was like, okay, that kind of hurt. And then I think Brenda thought I was injured, and I just got up and bowed, and then moments later I realized that I won bronze.
Oh.
Crying lines.
The way that they did the whole structure of the tournament, they would do the prelims, and then they would do they wouldn't do any of the the finals or anything until later on. They would just do a chunk of the prelims and then move on to the next division. Did that kind of make you nervous? Did it make you anxious or anything, or did you just kind of go with the flow?
It seemed like a similar format to what they had for the World Games. I didn't even know what the hell a repechage. How do you pronounce that?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I didn't even know what the hell that was before the World Games last year, so I could kind of follow along, but yeah, it did seem to skip around a little bit.
I think for me, the hard part was knowing when I was allowed to eat. So, because when you're a heavyweight in a competition, you're used to having to wait a long time before because all the other weight classes go first, right? And then I'm waiting, and then I was when am I allowed to eat? Because I'm hungry now, but I don't want to eat too soon to my bracket, right? I want some digestive time. So that was kind of difficult. And then I remember at one point I realized I was oh, we have a break. I can sit down and eat this bento box they gave me finally. And I just sat on the floor like a 5-year-old eating my bento box, just chowing down, you know?
I saw that there were some people that got confused about when it was their turn to go and stuff too.
Oh, for the teams? Yeah, that was kind of a mess.
Yeah, they were, I guess there were some teams that were switching people out or something like that, or I don't even know if they were doing it on purpose.
I have a feeling that some of those teams are just not knowledgeable. Italy is as far as I know, a relatively new to sumo in general. So I have a feeling they probably just didn't know. That they had to strictly follow this setup order that we provided months in advance.
Yeah.
If you are Chukin, you are Chukin.
Yeah, and I've never done teams before either, so I was leaning a lot on like Helen, because Helen's the only one up there that who's one of the athletes with us that had really done teams experience before. And then I had like Eton and Madison who had no idea what was going on either. So we were just kind of like, okay. And we like made sure to sit in an order and we're like, okay, it's your turn, go, you know. But
I'm sure that
I'm sure it was really confusing for the newer teams.
Another thing I noticed is it seemed like the Gyojis were just really rushing everybody, you know? And they even made some announcements, I think 1 or 2 times saying, hey, listen to what the Gyojis say. And I thought that maybe some people were used to watching like pro sumo makuuchi division where, you know, they can sit there and stare at each other as long as they want and stuff. Or am I just totally off the mark on that?
I didn't personally feel rushed. I know some of the other guys did. It was a little bit weird not to do Chirichozu for the regular matches, the non-final matches.
Yeah.
Because personally, I feel like that helps me mentally prepare for the match. Because I don't know, it just gets you mentally there.
Yeah.
But I know, like Eric is a guy that likes to really do a stare down and set up. And there was a couple times where he got back up and shook it off and then went back down. And then the thing is with that is like, what are they going to do if you don't start the match when they tell you to? They're not going to penalize you, right? Unless you're taking 20 minutes or something insane like that. One of the things I really noticed is that they were really particular about our hand placement, because usually, at least in American amateur sumo, we allow you to touch the yellow line or the shikiri line.
Yeah.
Right? It can't be over it. You can touch it. But here, we weren't allowed to touch it at all. I noticed them changing a lot of people's hand positioning.
I noticed that too, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're new and you don't know that you can stand back up and reset, that might fuck with you mentally. Mm-hmm. So I just went up there with the knowledge of like, hey, make sure my hand's not touching the white line this time.
Right.
Man, I don't know, like, to me, I kind of felt a little, I wouldn't say offended or anything like that, but miffed. I think miffed is a better word. I felt a little miffed that a lot of those, gyojis, referees, shimpan, whatever people are trying to call them now, the one that's calling the shots during the match.
I'm still going to call them gyojis. That was a whole argument, by the way, which we'll talk about in a moment, but yeah.
So anyway.
Referees.
They were just, referee, I just kept, I was just a little miffed that they kept trying to, they were just doing the calls over and over again. And I thought, man, these are like elite level athletes. These are the world's, best. Let them get mentally prepared for what they got to do. But some of them were just, especially the one with the closely cropped blonde hair. And she was saying, te wo tsuite and matanash, but she would like sandwich it together. Like, swimmanash, swidamanash, swidamanash. And I was like, just let them chill, man. They're gonna go when they're ready. But it was just like, why does she just keep? Okay, it's one thing if you're calling your calls repeating your calls, but she just kept slurring them together until she was going swash. But, but I was just like, just let them. When you're doing your calls over and over and over again, I feel like it was rattling, the competitors. And I felt like, if you just let them do their thing and collect their thoughts, they'll start. But the more you keep interrupting them, the further you're delaying them. So I don't know. That just it left a funky taste in my mouth, I guess.
I don't know if it's just because like our club has Andrew and Andrew has reffing experience internationally, but like I knew that was going to happen. I knew they were going to yell at me. It's just a matter of knowing like how far you can push it as an athlete and knowing that like if I want to take a little bit longer, I'm allowed to. They're just going to continue shouting, but it's fine. And so just mentally knowing that. And that's something like a lot of times we talk about, you don't start at the hockey way, you start at the forfeit. And that's how you gain an advantage, especially internationally. Like worst case scenario, they call a false start and you have to start over again.
Yeah.
But they're not penalize you. So it's I guess it's one of those games that you just kind of have to go in knowing that they're you.
Yeah, and maybe sometime in the near future, we can get everybody on the same page about that, because I think you're right. I think there are a lot of people that just don't understand those little things, Like, they may be able to wrestle, and they may know what, Chiri Chozu is and how to do it, but, like, those little things like, just ignore the fucking Gyoji if they're yelling at you. That's something that kind of just comes with experience, I guess.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that was something else that I didn't really consider it until just now, but do people kind of use matas as like a weapon or a tool? Like you use you do a mata on purpose just to kind of like freak out your opponent?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't personally do those kind of things, but there 100% there are people who are doing those things, mental mind games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it may or may not benefit them.
I mean, come on,
I'm sure it's going to repulse some
stares at
people
like a
because
demon.
not everybody is so prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, whenever you got someone like Eric Wynn doing the demon dagger stare at you, I mean, that's definitely going to knock you off your game a bit, but using, like, the rules and the calls and all that as a tool, to me, that just kind of mind-blowing. I'm like, whoa, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it in pro, too, if you think about it.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes sometimes those false starts are like, that wasn't even, like, even close.
Especially against Hakuho, because it would really piss him off.
I mean,
but I feel like if you really pissed off Hakuho, he'd just kick your ass. Well, he would just kick your ass anyway.
Yeah, he'd kick your ass regardless.
Harder than usual.
Yeah.
For sure.
We'll smack.
So, actually, another good question that I just thought of was, how do you think the experience was for some of your U.S. teammates, like Itan or like Madison, who didn't even do sumo until that tournament in Houston almost a year ago when she told me, nah, I'm just doing this, I'm never going to do it again.
And it totally did.
Like, what was it like seeing them on the world stage for the first time as an experienced sumo tori yourself?
I was really proud of them. I think they both went out, tried their hardest, and I talked to Madison, and I think if she trains sumo, she can do really well. Because her second match, she lost due to just being unexperienced, right? Like she overstepped on the Tuara, and that's just something you have to learn through experience of doing sumo. And then Ipan went out there and did her best, and we all came together really well for the teams competition, and they all kicked ass. And I think that it really lit a fire under both their butts, and they want to come back and do harder and do more in Poland next year.
Yeah, I heard Christina talking about wanting to try to go to Poland next year as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ooh, another important question. What was the after party like?
Oh my God, so much fun. So the after party was like, I don't know, maybe 100 feet away. So we just walked over in the rain, and we were at this like fake beach resort where it was just
volleyball.
It was like a beach volleyball kind of situation.
Oh, nice.
And they had all these tents set up, and then all the countries had some tents, and then it was like yakiniku, which is like barbecue meats essentially, and we had veggies, and then a lot of beer. And in true sumo after party fashion, we started arm wrestling. Started arm wrestling, and then it turned into other countries joined our tent and started arm wrestling with us. And we even if you find clips of it, Angel posted some, there's a Gyoji in the background calling the start of each arm wrestling match, and he's like, and then they would go. It was fantastic. It was a great time.
So
As
awesome.
people taking videos and stuff too. Everybody was all into it.
We went around, made a few trips, cheering with different countries. We had a really good time.
Hell yeah.
Did you really bro down with the competitors from any specific country?
I think Brazil were the ones that were most excited about it.
Yeah, I think us in Brazil, I think as we're the Americas, there's a little bit of a bond there.
Yeah.
And then
I think Germany came into.
We had Germany.
Came into.
Estonia.
Estonia was there.
Norway's my buddy now. Norway and I are good friends because we had to sit through a terrible meeting together.
Aw.
The drugs meeting.
Yeah, the don't do drugs meeting, where we just learned to say no to drugs. It was like Dare all over again, guys.
Should have gotten a T-shirt for it.
Yeah.
Oh, they got towels. They got little
I
towels.
got a towel and a sticker,
God.
a pen.
For the anti-drug meeting?
Yeah, anti-doping essentially.
Oh,
So, sumo is under the Olympics because we
Yeah.
are a recognized sport in the Olympics. So we still do things by WADA, and so that was one of the big things they did this year is make us do WADA certification.
World Anti-Doping Association.
Yeah. And then I had to attend a stupid anti-doping meeting.
At least you had Norway there with you.
It was me and then like 8 other Norwegians.
And then the
Just chilling.
girls at the table next to you.
Oh yeah, and Poland's always been a great friend to us because they've come out to the U.S. a couple times.
They kicked a lot of ass,
So
too.
yeah, so we're making friends with everybody, really.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering if, like, you know, you go in there and, you know, everyone's just kind of chill at first until, oh no, the Bulgarians came in and it gets all raucous, or, you know, it's like, oh shit, the Brazilians are here and the party goes off the hook, or, if it, you know, something like that, you know.
What are those things called? Vuvuzelas just
yeah.
going off all over the place. And
Idiot.
oh shit,
Been
it's Estonia!
Did you guys get
Oh,
the
but-
party with Hui?
Rui, yeah,
They're always awesome.
What's he like?
yeah. Brenna and Rui have talked a couple times because
They speak Spanish.
Rui speaks Spanish, so.
Oh, cool.
He's a good friend to us, and he came and did some arm wrestling with us. Arm wrestling really is, I've learned, is the key to any good sumo after party.
Hell yeah,
I
it
have to
is.
remember that.
Yeah, no, we did it after the first Consulates Cup. Everybody was doing karaoke after the last Consulates Cup, though, so there really wasn't a lot of time for arm wrestling. Probably could have done it at the same time, you know?
True.
Just sing while you're, like, arm wrestling.
It's like, ah!
Well, yeah, we'll have to suggest that for the next one. But does he pronounce it Rui, or... Because Matt thinks it's pronounced with, like, a very soft R.
No, it's an H, because like in Portuguese, the R is pronounced like a H.
How did he pronounce his own name?
It's a Rui.
He's Rui, as far as I know.
And like, even like Brazilians had like
Yeah, they call
like
him
cheers for each wrestler, so it would be like Rui, 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 Rui.
Yeah, because we were arm wrestling, and then the Brazilians talked Rui into arm wrestling, and then he kicked some people's butts.
Nice.
I bet he did.
Rui's a shrimp.
But if you listen on the live stream, you can hear them. It sounds like they're saying "hui, hui, hui."
I don't think that's what it sounded like. I
didn't
thought
me.
I heard the R, but yeah.
It's a very soft R. R's are weird. There's some languages where R's are vowels, pretty much, like French.
He
a
has an
linguist.
anthropology degree, so
I study languages for fun because I'm a fucking nerd.
he just cracks out on that shit. But that sounds amazing that you got to hang out with all these different people from all these different countries, and like people recognized you and were like, "Oh, hey, there's my homie from the U.S." And you're like, "Oh, hey, there's my homie from Norway or whatever." That's super awesome, guys.
Yeah, I think the longer you're in the sport, the more connections you definitely make. And even if you only see each other like once a year for 20 minutes, there's still a friendship there. And that's one of the beauties of sumo is like the community, right?
Exactly. So now that you are getting to know a lot of the international competitors more, do you have any plans to go out to Poland or Norway or Germany or anything like that?
I mean, if I can afford it. I feel like I spent a lot of money this year traveling.
Yeah.
But if I can afford it, I definitely want to go out to Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
We do Taka, which is Luciana's husband. And we were talking about going out to Brazil.
They're setting up something, and he's like, "Yeah, just touch me, and we can do like a training." And
Oh, Matt, you would love to know this.
it's awesome.
You know how Lucy teaches like PE classes to kids?
Yeah.
Because I know yeah. She has a wait list for the children because so many children want to try sumo.
200 children deep waitlist.
Whoa.
But they don't have a way to like establish who can teach sumo until they're like in this kind of like weird spot in terms of growth of like how do we find more teachers who are capable of teaching sumo to these children, but they have like a 200 children wait list, which is just insane to think there's 200 kids out there wanting to do sumo.
Why are
That's-
they in the U.S.?
That's really cool, though.
That is so
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I saw. I think it was. Was it? It might have been Luciana. It might have been one of someone from somewhere else in South America. But they had posted a video on Instagram that was them actually teaching the children's classes, and it reminded me a lot of like children's karate classes where they're teaching them the movements and like the muscle memory, but they're like making a game out of it, you know?
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I want to do that so bad. I just really want to kind of develop like a fun curriculum to teach kids sumo. And when they're ready for it, to just let them slam into each other.
Interview over. We got to get busy making some babies. We got to build our sumo army.
I mean, Texas is building a lot of sumo babies out there, so.
True.
Dow's got to catch up.
We're trying.
No rush, guys.
Speaking of travel, though, I heard that your next stop is going to be at the World Combat Games in Saudi Arabia. So,
yes.
Are you kind of nervous for that? Like, what are you doing to prepare?
I honestly haven't done anything specific. I've just been traveling and trying to enjoy Japan. I recognize that I've learned as much as I can, because you can't learn anything brand new right before a tournament.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I don't know. I'm trying to just enjoy the time I'm having in Japan, and I'm gonna go to Saudi with good intentions and hope I do well. The competition in Saudi Arabia is gonna be at a higher what's the word I'm looking for? Higher level than World Championships was. Mostly because like there is no open weight category in terms of like the athletes aren't split between open and heavy. We're all going to be in heavy together. So there's going to be like Ivana and Svetlana from Ukraine, who are both excellent athletes. Yeah. You have Ari-san from Airi-san, and then Hiyori from Japan, both medalists, world medalists in world games, you know.
Susanna and Violetta.
And then you've got the Poland girls, Susanna and Violetta. And then so like there's a lot of high caliber competitors. And then, you know, me and Eros will be there, so hopefully we kick some butt.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Eros is going to be there. That's awesome.
Yeah, Eros.
Yeah.
She said she's training in seclusion at the moment. But
she would say something like that. She's like a superhero or some shit.
But whenever you go to the World Combat Games, there's like regulation and open weight, but they let the people in regulation do open weight.
No. There's no open weight. Is that what you said?
No open weight?
Well, so World Championships, you qualify per category. So you're in your category. World Combat Games and World Games, you're in your category, and then all those athletes go into open weight. So open weight doesn't have nobody is specifically doing open weight. Everybody's doing open weight.
Nice.
Everybody, gotcha. Okay.
Well, yeah, unless you're injured or something, but
yeah.
I was kind of like wondering about that, about like open weight at the World Sumo Championships, because it was just Eton, you know, in there. I thought maybe she would do, you know, regulation and open, but no, she only did open. I was like, oh wow. So that kind of like threw me for a loop a bit. I didn't realize, you know, if you qualify, you know, for that tournament by winning open weight, you got to compete in open weight. You know, I was like, wait, what?
So, like, since I won both, I had an opportunity to choose whether I wanted to do heavyweight or open, and then I went heavy, so Eton got to do open, but only the competitors who chose to go open, essentially, were doing open weight.
Oh, I see. Okay. And she did pretty good for herself, too, for her first, like, really big tournament.
World tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that picture that John Gunning took of her.
Oh, that's
like her Ottawa. That was, like, awesome.
It's beautiful.
No.
Yeah, she really lit up in teams, and I think repertoire isn't so friendly to people who like need that first match to shake off the nerves. So I feel like teams, she really came alive.
Oh yeah,
and on fire.
Yeah, no, she looked great out there. You all looked so fantastic, and of course, we wish you well in Saudi Arabia. Do you know if they're gonna have a live stream for that?
They just posted something the other day that it's gonna be televised on all these things. So I think it's going to be like World Games.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely look out for that then.
unfortunately, we're only bringing, like, only the athletes are coming, and then we have a couple refs and a coach coming. Nobody's bringing extra people. Brenda won't be attending. She's a little sad. But Saudi doesn't really like gay people, so Brenda says that she's going to make me do a live. So my phone might end up in a corner somewhere with the battery pack just going without me there.
Nice.
Dude, you were a lifesaver at the World Games. We just, like, basically screen recorded your entire, like, recording of the World Games, so thanks for that.
Yeah, and in fact, there were like, I would say like a good 7/8 of the views that we've gotten on our YouTube channel have been from those World Games videos.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So like, yeah, you exposed like hundreds of thousands of people to our YouTube channel, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, thanks for letting us piggyback off of you, you know? But
it's not like I was gonna go in there and edit it. It's too much work.
But yeah, like you mentioned, the thing with Saudi Arabia, they're not too friendly to queer folk, to women folk. Really, they have very strict beliefs about that kind of stuff. I wasn't gonna bring it up at first because I wanted it to be a little more lighthearted, but I'm glad you did, because that is something that people need to think about when, you know, traveling to different places for these tournaments. It's unfortunately something you got to deal with, and it fucking sucks that you guys got to deal with that. So I'm really sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's okay. Brenda will be fine. She's sad about it, but she'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then that means I don't have to pay for a fight. So
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. You know, save some money off of somebody else's bigotry.
So are they keeping you guys like in your like own hotel, or do you kind of have like like athletes quarters like while you're there, or?
They're using like maybe 8 or so hotels. I forgot how many. They sent us the documentation, and all of Sumo will be in like one hotel together. And then I think the officials, like the refs and the coaches, are going to be in a separate hotel, but all the athletes will be together in one hotel. And then we have an even number of Americans, both men and women, so I would imagine we'll just be rooming with each other.
Like 8 women, 8 men, or just like 8 altogether?
4 women, 4 men, so 8 altogether.
Gotcha.
Kelly, Brenda, did you guys have any last words, last thoughts, any other topics you want to discuss before we let you go?
Any shout outs?
I do want to shout out the people who really helped us along the way with this. The U.S. team couldn't do it out without its supporters. And so, big names are like Kanishki and John Jocks, who helped us organize Takasago Obeya practice. And John Jocks has just always been in our corner.
I love that
always
man.
willing.
I love him.
And then Waseda and Joe for connecting together and helping us get practice there. Takeshi for everything he does, including renting out the practice dojo for us. And then
he came to watch us, and he stayed the whole day.
Yeah, Takeshi hung out with us and coached us as well.
He's such a treasure.
He is. He's such a good person. And then we got to hang out at the party too, so that was great. Oh, and shout out to Menken and JJ.
Yeah.
Menken for being the one person in our group that really understands and speaks Japanese, so that was really helpful. And then JJ stepped into the coach role, even though he wasn't technically coach, and just was fantastic all day for us.
Aww.
So I definitely appreciated JJ. Because every time I was like, I don't know what side I belong to. Are we going next? Who's going next? I don't know what's going on. JJ run and figure it out. And I'm really thankful for him and Brenda, of course, because
yeah.
And shout out.
I got one of those.
Shout out to Honu.
Yeah.
Maximum effort.
Maximum effort.
Maximum effort.
Nice.
Of course, shout out to my OG coach, Yama.
Yes. Shout out to Yama too.
So now Yama is STL Sumo Club? Is that what he is now?
Yeah.
I think they made the name Show Me Sumo.
Oh, I like that. You know, I actually lived in Missouri before I moved here to Texas, but I was in mostly in Springfield, and then I went to college in Columbia for a little while. But I did go to St. Louis a lot. That is a beautiful city, and I'm glad that it has Yama now to teach its citizens sumo.
I love that. Show me sumo. That's perfect, honestly.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
I hope, he's just getting started, but I know it's going to go well. You just got to gather some people. I think that's the hardest thing to do is find a couple people who are interested and then grow from there.
Yeah, and there's the guys out in Kansas City, Robert Fuimaono, and
oh gosh. Well, that was Brandon. Brandon moved back to San Antonio though.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, Yama's been making out trips to like Chicago. He's going to Grand Rapids this weekend.
Awesome.
He's been making his rounds as well.
I hope he can.
And thankfully, like Robert will drive to him. So
yeah.
Actually, I think they had like a practice, like the first inaugural practice that they had. I thought Robert was there. It was in that.
Robert and from Tennessee was there.
I haven't been on any social media recently just because everything else in my life is so busy right now.
Yeah, work is scary, crazy, busy right
now.
So
I've missed a lot of this stuff.
I hope Yama makes it down to Dallas, though. Or
I do too.
We could drive up to Yama or something.
I would love to go to St. Louis. Seriously. Okay, road trip. Let's do it. You guys in on this? When you get back to the U.S., road trip to Yama's? Yeah? I'll throw down on gas.
One of our plans next year is definitely going to Yama's.
Oh, yeah, because next year he said that he would put together a training camp.
He has a vision of creating an outdoor dojo.
With outdoor showers and camping areas, so I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
I don't know if we'll have it next year, but it's going to happen, I think.
Nice.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
He's like right in the center of the U.S., so
so everybody just migrates.
Exactly, so convenient. But I know you guys probably have like a ton more Japan things you want to do. What's on the agenda for today, by the way?
We were gonna try to make it to either Kyoto or Nara. We're not 100% sure because we like to do everything planning last minute.
Aw.
We went into Japan this time without.
Well, we planned out our first week, but not our second week.
No.
So right after the competition, we were like homeless. We were like, okay, we need to find a hotel for tonight because we don't know where we're going.
Oh.
Normally an over planner, and then it stresses me out. And we went into this time with 0 plans, and stressing me out a little bit. But you find a middle ground, right? Of like,
yeah. KellyAnn, Brenda, it's been fantastic talking to you guys today. And of course, congratulations on your wins at the World Sumo Championships. If people wanted to find you online, where would they look for you?
I'm on Instagram at sumo_bola. And you can also check out my website, sumo411.com, where I try to keep up with all the amateur sumo tournaments. And then check out the federation page, United States Sumo Federation, on Instagram. That's usually me updating that. So
you do a really damn good job with that. I could tell it was like night and day when you took over doing the federation's like social media, because it's just like so much active and so much more posts.
Oh, yeah. And Sumo 411, we shout that out every episode now.
Every episode.
It's so nice to have a calendar of every sumo event in the world. Or as many as we know about, anyway.
Yeah.
I got to do some updating with traveling and stuff. It hasn't really been a priority.
It's fine.
But we appreciate
when you're
you
like,
guys too. We're trying to get the word to all over the place.
Yeah.
We get on the front of things.
Yeah, you got more important things to worry about right now.
Exactly, when you're thousands of miles from home and you're staring at somebody face to face in the dojo about to bonk coconuts with them, you're not quite thinking about a website.
Right.
But yeah, it was just so amazing getting to see you, like on TV. Like it was like, what was it, like 3 a.m. And I'm like in my chair, like screaming at the TV, like, oh my God. It was so great to cheer for you, even though you couldn't hear us all the way in Japan, we still screamed at the TV. It was amazing.
I don't know. I think they may have been able to hear you.
Well, I know the neighbors did.
But yes, we'll go ahead and let you guys go so you can get back to your Japan adventure. But again, thank you so much for joining us today. And we wish you the best of luck in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, guys.
Oh my god, I want to see these arm wrestling videos.
I saw a couple of them. I did see some of the European Sumotori posted some of those.
Wait, oh, the Europeans posted them. Where did they post them?
Instagram. And then I saw some
shit.
of the stuff that Angel had posted. Angel De La Torre had posted some stuff too.
Yes! I'm gonna get on Instagram right after this and watch all that shit.
It's fucking
Hell yeah.
awesome. I love it. And KellyAnn Ball, actually, at the time of this recording, KellyAnn Ball is going to be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia by this weekend for the World Combat Games. So, ganbare, KellyAnn Ball.
Ganbare!
Kick some ass.
Yeah! Do it for the ladies. Well, that is the end of our episode. You know where to find us on them internets. We're on the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Instagrams and the YouTubes. And are we on Reddit?
Well, nah, we're not on Reddit.
Did I ask that last time? Hey, you know what we do have, though? We have our Discord kind of slightly up and running, so definitely check that out. And if you like this episode, give it a 5-star rating. It helps other people find it and enjoy it themselves.
We also have a Redbubble store where you can find all sorts of designs that we have manifested and out of the ether. Our favorite one that we've done so far is the Chiya no Fuji 3 Wolf Moon design. It's freaking great.
Aw, you like that one?
I love that one. You should get yourself one. They're awesome. We also have a TeePublic that has a lot of the same designs as well, and maybe a few other different colors of t-shirts for if you like to have colorful t-shirts, as well as things like mouse pads, tote bags,
shower curtains.
yeah, all sorts of ill shit. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Until next time, y'all.
Bye.
Yeah. God, my voice is cracked.